can't film in federal buildings. The signs are on the door right there.
Isn't that a public lobby?
The Title 41.
Is that a law or a policy?
It's on the door right there. You can read right there on the outside door. You have to exit out of the building, report outside.
Yeah.
Not inside federal buildings. I'm asking you to leave. You'll be detained for trespassing if you don't.
So you're gonna call the police on this?
No, I'm gonna call federal police.
Federal police?
But you can record all you want outside.
But why not in here if it's open to the public?
The sign's on the door right there explains it all to you.
That's rules, so we have to follow.
Yeah, it's policy.
I can give you a paper.
I can give you the Constitution.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so I'm not really here to record the people, so I'm just gonna kind of take it off. Gonna get some official business. We just go and record police and shit. You want me to give you a card, bro, so you can find out?
No, I'm good.
Hey, it's important, bro. Check it out. Check out what we do, man. Record police.
That's what's up. Put them on blast.
Put them on blast on YouTube.
For sure, bro. It's cool, bro.
Hey, who is that guy that went into the meeting? Oh, come on, you don't want to say? It's public information, you can give it. No big deal.
I can, but you didn't give me your name, so...
You don't respect the privacy of citizens, sir?
What about his privacy?
He works for the public. Yeah, see how, you see how... Hey, man, you see how that's...
Huh? You read it?
You read that. You want if I bet you down?
If you try that, that'd be a really good thing.
Why?
You don't want to reach for a deputy's belt, do you?
No.
With permission?
Nope, no permission there. No permission there, buddy.
Are you an aggressive officer?
You know I'm not.
You don't got nothing on you you're not supposed to?
I have a lot of stuff on me. My belt,
You know what I mean?
my camera.
You know what I mean?
A lot of documents today?
Yeah.
Yeah. Getting a little slammed lunch hour. Yeah. I'm in there, you're charging my pop up. Thank you.
Hey, have you ever been investigated by Internal Affairs? Or by you guys' own internal division?
135 at window number 6.
No comment on that one.
It's okay.
Have you ever been arrested? That's your tattoo.
You can wait inside if you want.
No.
It's okay.
Deputy.
I'll wait for you over here.
Deputy.
Now serving.
To work.
Would you like to have, sir, would you like to have a seat?
No, I wouldn't like to have a seat. I'd just like to ask you guys.
I've had this one.
Thank you, sir.
Working conditions, and also they're fighting for their members to get more wage increases because their members, so as our members, are having having a hard time living in this area where it's the most expensive in the in the nation, basically top 3. And so how can basically what we're saying is that treat us fairly. We just want a fair contract and a good working condition languages so that we could treat our patients much better for patient care and patient safety.
Cool. How do you feel? Do you think that patient dumping is a problem in America?
Patient dumping?
Yeah. Have you heard of it?
So, could you explain that?
There have been some recent videos popping up that they've just been taking patients out of hospitals or areas and just dropping them off like at bus stops and stuff. And
I haven't been hearing about that, unfortunately. Maybe some of the nurses have. I know back in the day when I was an EMT back in LA, there were patient dumping where, well, what we see is like the ambulances would take them to the ER, and the ER would then take them outside and just dump them outside. Basically, that's what I see as patient dumping.
Right.
Well, that was in the day, right? That was before I became a nurse a long time ago. I don't know if it's continue to happen here.
They're just refusing them because they couldn't afford the services.
Basically, yeah, that was in
That's
LA.
their way of dumping it.
That's how I see it as a patient dumping.
Would it amaze you?
They go.
Would it amaze you to hear that that there's videos popping up of it still going on places?
Well, it's heartbreaking that that's still happening. I'm a county nurse, and we treat everybody, whoever comes through, whether they could pay or they couldn't pay or not.
Just hang
Okay.
out for a while.
So fellas, here's what I'm gonna ask you guys to do. I'm gonna ask you guys to wrap this up. I'm gonna ask you guys not to videotape. I'm gonna ask you guys not to videotape our clients.
You notice how 4 people have gone by.
Try to have a good day. Try to
Hey
sleep
guys,
well today.
thanks for
Try to
coming
sleep
in.
well.
We appreciate it. Take care.
So that means you guys are gonna get a new building somewhere.
Maybe they're gonna relocate us to wherever. To wherever.
Come on, man. You guys know our tax dollars pay for nice stuff.
Well, so
Yeah, I hope we get some.
I'm guessing this was painted in '82.
1982.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they did.
Yeah, they did just re-landscaped it. I don't know if they re-landscaped it for resale or just re-landscaped because it was such a pain in the rear to mow that grass.
It's for resale. All
That
of
was
the
a lot of
all
grass
of the benches and the stuff in the front.
They
They're trying to make
upgraded.
it
They
more,
updated
They're
it.
trying to make it more attractive to some buyers.
Yeah. State would rather pay rent than own buildings because you know that's smart, right?
Did you like my paint?
You pay $2,000 for an apartment instead of $1,000 a month for a house.
Right.
How much sense does that make?
Pretty smart, man.
So
They need to
if you're
put you in
smart,
charge.
no, let me tell you, if you're smart, you build a skyscraper, then you go around, you solicit all the government offices to move into your building. Taxpayers and the government pay your mortgage, and when that building gets paid off, you're a multi-millionaire. Compliments of the people of the state of California.
Yep.
See, you pay $60,000 for an entire 8th floor every month. What kind of building could you afford to buy and pay off and then have no rent and save the taxpayers money if you would just own the land? What's wrong with the state owning land? There's nothing wrong with the state owning land because who's the state? The people. So if the people own land and they use that land to serve themselves, what's wrong with that? But we would rather pay rent to a private citizen so he can get rich, right? We're paying his mortgage. And then it's like forever because now you don't own any buildings. So you take your 200 state employees, you put them in a rental forever. So who owns the building? A private citizen or corporation.
Very well said, man.
Right?
Makes a lot of sense, dude.
Right?
Makes a lot of sense.
So to me, as a taxpayer, I would rather the state own a building, pay it off, rent free, and then maintain it and keep us in it. And that way save the taxpayers money, but they don't care about that.
But the state,
The state doesn't care about saving your money.
Certain
they care
states-
about spending your money. That's what they
So,
want.
do certain states own buildings?
Sure.
Or is it just this one?
Sure,
Fresno,
we have buildings that are on federal land. We have buildings on state land. There's city-owned properties. There's nothing wrong with that, because when you're done paying for the building of the property, it's free and clear, and now the taxpayers don't have to pay every month for this building.
Makes sense.
You pay the taxes for.
But instead, because it's our money, it's not. See,
Right.
this is the problem with Sacramento. They think they're independent of the taxpayer. They think that when we elect them, that gives them autonomy to pass whatever they want to pass, serve whoever they want to serve. They think they have the autonomy to make the laws they want to make, and it doesn't matter how we feel or think. They don't think about. If you did the things that they did at home, you'd be homeless, for one thing. You'd be in jail for another. I mean, there's so many things that a private citizen can't do in his home, in his own dwelling, that the state of California can do.
Right.
So this is the problem, is that there's not a big enough revolt to say, hey, you work for us. We hired you. Your paycheck comes from us. What are you doing?
Do you know what you just said right now is in a lot of our videos? That right there, exactly what you just said, I've said that before.
You're supposed to be doing what we want, what we pay you to do, and you're not supposed to be able to get rich off it. How are you getting rich off it?
Exactly.
How do you go to Washington, come back a multimillionaire? That would never happen before. The people who started this business all died broke and all kinds of mess. Just look at the fate of the signers of the Declaration of Independence. Look at their fates. What did it get them? Get them rich and famous? No. Did they end up like the Kennedys? No. Rockefellers? Or how about the Pelosi's from back east? Nobody knows the Pelosi's are from back east. They think the Pelosi's are native Californians. They're not. So, you know, a lot of crap, man. A lot of crap that has to do with just they're running their own show. They're running their own business. They're taking, and because they know taxpayers will revolt. They won't do anything. Oh, we'll go march. And then what happens if the march doesn't pan out? Nothing happens from it. Nothing. Nothing. You see, and they know, according to history, you go march on Sacramento, you go march on Washington, nothing happens. What's the next thing you do? We said it's our money, our country, not yours. So what do? You make me get rid of it. Now I can't. Now I can't go there armed. I can't use the Second Amendment to protect my First Amendment anymore. Because my First Amendment, part of my First Amendment is to hire you to speak on my behalf. That's free. That's called freedom. I'm choosing you to go there and to speak on my behalf and to pass legislation and do things for me. And without the First Amendment, what happens to our government? Because our government is based on what? It's based on representation. But what is the representation for?
You know that we are First Amendment activists, journalists. We go out and we push the boundaries.
I guarantee you the First Amendment was written to protect, the Second Amendment was written to protect the First.
That's right, man. That's right.
Okay, if you look at who wrote the Second Amendment and why, why did they write the first one? Because they got those things taken away from them and they had to what? They had to fight to get it back, right?
That's right, man.
People forget that this used to be England. 13 English colonies. People seem to forget that the England, where does slavery come from? England, right? Right? So we have 13 English colonies that own slaves, right? So what happens when the people can no longer take the tyranny of England? They revolted. Well, what was one of the things that England imposed?
Taxes.
That First Amendment was written so that would no longer be imposed by us by any government, because we were going to set up our own government. As a country, we need a government, and we were going to set up a government, and we wanted to make sure that government would never impose their tyrannical rules on us. So what do? We knew that it took the actions of the Second Amendment to get the First Amendment. So if you got the First Amendment by having a Second Amendment, even though it wasn't unwritten at the time. Now we put the Second Amendment to protect the First Amendment, to make sure that if the power, because we knew that the power would grow as we grow, they knew that as we grow as a country and as our government grows, it grows more powerful. They saw it coming. So the Second Amendment protects the First. It makes sure the government doesn't mess with the First and impose tyranny again, all over again, and we start all over again with the you can't do this, you can't do that, you can only do this, you can only do that.
Have you ever heard the coined term First Amendment audit?
Let me get this. Hold on a second. Hello?